DFG's Corner is sponsored by the Real Golden Girls Creations. 𝗙𝗵𝐻's Corner is sponsored by the Real Golden Girls Creations. All opinions are those of the participants making them and are not an endorsement of any position, program, religion, or political affiliation. 𝗙𝗵𝐻's Corner is for information, observations, and entertainment. I ask that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is DFG in the place to be, and I'm coming live from the 571 outside of DC. Today's show is going to be an open forum. You know that I have the golden voice. I'm the lady's choice, and of course, I'm always smooth as a Rolls Royce. On the show today, without delay, I'm going to talk to the woman that's sweet as Snapple, and her name is Apple. Let me talk to your boy, Apple.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be here tonight. I hope we have a good show as we usually do. And that's about it.
And last but not least is the beast to the southeast, but she's not here. My sister from the same mister. Um, Also, I want to thank Miss Kim for coming on. Last week I didn't call on her, and that was my fault, and I apologize for that. But she will get plenty of chances this week. Also, those out there in Facebook land and in YouTube land and Instagram land and sometimes on TikTok land, you can find us here every week, unless something goes on, Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. We get the show live, we get the show pumping, and we get the show kicking. I'm going to start it off with a little question. What was your favorite Christmas memory, and what was your worst Christmas memory? I'll start first. My favorite Christmas memory was the first one in Germany that I had. I was after my two youngest sons were born in Germany. My oldest son was born in lovely Kentucky, U.S., Lexington, Kentucky. The first time we had all three of the boys, and they were it was Andre's first Christmas, Daniel's second Christmas, and Randall's, of course, going on his fourth Christmas. We had a good time, and it was just wonderful seeing my boys just tear up stuff and get into their toys and just be happy. And as a dad, I had a great time. Hated cleaning up afterwards, but I had a great time, just thinking of being that's what it meant to be a dad, have a family, and just the joy that, we didn't always get when we were kids, but I was happy that I was able to provide for my kids. The worst one happening around the same time, Christmas of 2002. We were living in El Paso, Texas, and Andre Jr. caught a bug, and everybody else in the house, with the exception of my middle son Daniel, caught a bug. So we spent Christmas Eve trying to wrap gifts between stuff coming out of both ends and trying to get that, and I was just drained. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad. But as a parent, you just gotta there's no days off. There's no days off. Miss Kim, I'm going to pass it over to you. What was your favorite Christmas memory, and what was your not so favorite Christmas memory?
I guess I could say my favorite Christmas memory would be the first Christmas as a mother, watching my child open up her Christmas gifts. Um, and having my parents there to see that. My worst would be 2001. Christmas was always my dad's favorite holiday. And I lost my father August of 2001, and not having him around to do the decorating, because like I said, Christmas was his favorite holiday. So that was just, and then also in that same time frame, my mom was stricken with cancer. So it wasn't a good Christmas at all.
I understand. I understand. And
So
um,
holidays are, this time of year is real hard for me.
and we can Apple and I can definitely understand. 38 years ago Saturday, we lost our dad. Um, We had this weekend we got together. Um, it was both good and bad. We mourned our dad, but we also celebrated our sister-in-law's 50th birthday. So it was a mixed blessing, but it was a blessing nevertheless. Apple, um, tell me about your best and worst Christmas.
Um, I have one of my favorite memories from when I was a child. I didn't think, it was touch and go sometimes, for Christmas to get presents, how we grew up. But this one particular Christmas, I remember I woke up and we had so many gifts under the tree, and it was because of you and Chocolate Pearl, I believe. Y'all really must have hustled, and I know we woke up with a couple. Me and our younger sister, we woke up with a couple of gifts under the tree, and I really, that's a core memory that stuck with me. I don't remember the specific details of everything, but I just know that it was one of the happiest childhood memories I had. And as an adult, I always tried to make Christmas good for the kids. When I was you know when the kids were younger, and me and our younger sister, we always did it together. We, the night before, we wrapped all the gifts, and just seeing the joy on their faces in the morning when they got to open them was good. That was that made me happy. As far as like a really bad one, um I remember going to our dad's mom's house on Christmas Eve, and I woke up that morning, and because they didn't expect us to be there, we didn't get any gifts, and that was childhood. As far as an adult, I didn't have any really bad Christmases as an adult, because me being a single mother, I had to make it happen for the kids, and God always provided, and I was always able to make sure that they were good. I don't know how, but I just know that I was blessed as far as that. And they always woke up in the morning to, plenty of presents.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I know that's those childhood memories are bittersweet. We we just go through, but a lot of that stuff got erased once I had kids, because I always want to make sure that their Christmases were always going to be better than our Christmases. And
Yeah, I kind of strive to do that as well. I did.
although we didn't have all bad Christmases, I remember one Christmas our father bought me and our oldest brother roller derby, a portable roller derby game, and I loved that game until we both broke it. But I used to say I'm more broke than a toy on Christmas, the day after Christmas, because you know how kids are with their toys. But yeah, those are it's around that time. We're in the we're in the winter season, even though someday this weekend it felt like super winter. And today in Virginia, it was like 65 degrees. This is how you get sick. This is definitely how you get sick. But
Same in New
overall,
York. It was really warm today. I was surprised.
yeah, and that's how you get sick though, because your body's used to the cold. And one thing I also realized is that you just got to roll with the punches, and even though you may feel like crap, you still got to push on, because that's what's expected. We have obligations, we have duties as adults and as parents to. It's hard, but also it's satisfying when it's all over with. Um, our pockets may be empty, but our hearts are full with love and cheer and things of that nature. Um, you know, I used to without when I used to go to church a lot. For Christmas, we would also do the, well, not Secret Santa per se, but we buy gifts and donate them to the kids that didn't have. And we thought that was in the spirit, because the Bible does say it's better to give than to receive. But you always should give with a good heart, Don't give because you have to. Give because it's the right thing to do, and it's in your heart. Because you can give something, but if it's not with love, then it doesn't hit the same way. And of course, a person may not like the gift, but sometimes, you give all you have. In the Bible, it says there was a widow who put two mites in the box, and Jesus said that widow gave more than all the rich people because she gave all she had, and she gave from the heart. And that's the real spirit, is to give from your heart and not necessarily from your wallet. Too bad that we do a lot of materialistic stuff. Got to have the newest stuff, and but then when you don't have it like that, sometimes a pair of socks can mean a whole. I remember when you hooked me up with them Bombas socks. I gotta get those. Those I gotta cop those because those things were wonderful.
Yeah, I love those socks. I
Those,
do.
those, and this is not a commercial for, this is not an endorsement of Bombas, but Bombas does have great socks. I know why they call it bomb, because they bomb ass socks. But those a lot of memories is having Christmas dinner at my mother's house or my father's mother's house, because that's when we knew we were going to get a meal. Um, just the festive, and hopefully too many people didn't overdo the alcohol, because we got drunks and drunkles, and they they used to drunt and drunkle. That was one thing this Saturday that surprised me. We didn't have any drunkies in there. I think that's because it was a cash bar and people were broke.
No, our lovely sister was a jaunty this weekend. And it's okay because she the more reserved out of all of us. So it was nice to see her enjoy herself and really let loose.
Oh yeah.
But she
Oh
did have to get escorted to a Uber.
yeah.
And I loved it. I loved it because she is so reserved and laid back, and you know, it was nice to see her have fun
Oh
and
yeah,
enjoy.
definitely, definitely. I just wish my hips were acting right, because I wanted to dance, but the way my hips and knees are set up, that ain't that ain't always the brightest idea. And I left my cane in the truck, but
Same, brother, same.
but I was the designated bag watcher, and I was okay. I was okay with that. Um, Christmas parties, Christmas holiday parties. Apple, do you have a story of a Christmas party that you attended? Maybe it was at when you were still at work, or any other type of Christmas party.
Yeah, at one of the holiday parties, they did raffles and they gave out prizes, and I never win anything, so I won, I think it was like an iPod shuffle or something like that. But I wound up giving it away because I had an iPod, or iPhone, something like that, so I didn't need it. But I just thought that was so cool. Even though other people were winning like bigger items, I just, that was nice. And the food was excellent. And as we know, I'm a very picky eater.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always enjoyed the holiday parties at my former job.
Oh, that's
It
good.
was
Do you
really
think
nice.
they catered the food?
Yeah, yeah. They what happens, it was like at a catering hall, and it's like close to my home as well. So the place is called Russo's on the Bay. That was the last place that I went.
Oh, that's a nice spot. I've been there once. I've
Yeah,
been there once, and
it's really nice. The liquor was flowing, the food was abundant, and everybody just had a good time.
that's what it should be.
Hmm.
Miss Kim, you've told me a few stories about Christmas parties. Why don't you let us know on a memorable one?
Um, well, before I moved here, I attended quite a few Christmas parties, work as well as outside of work. Um, I've always went to my best friend, her family would have Christmas parties if my family didn't have host a Christmas party. And all of them are very memorable. I love to dance. So one of my best guy friends, his wife will always tell him, go dance with Kim, dance with Kim. So between him, Tony, who I just recently lost, was it this summer,
This
Andre?
summer,
This
yeah.
summer. Um, between him and my brother Gary sliding across the dance floor, it was always a show. Um, as far as work Christmas parties, I have hosted a couple of them, put together a couple of them, and I guess I could say the worst Christmas party for work I went to was just this past Friday. It wasn't the worst. It was just that we did the what is it called? It's not Secret Santa, but
White elephant.
White Elephant. And everybody had a good time, but I got I would say a gag gift that was supposed to be a gag gift. It was something you use in the bathroom to help you use the bathroom. I forgot the name of it.
Waddy potty.
Yeah, that was quite embarrassing. So I didn't like that. But all in all, the party was okay. And I love, doing stuff, gift giving, swapping gifts, but that right there was a little cheesy. Yeah.
I see, with my sense of humor, I would have been cracking up at it. I would have been waving it around like, look what I got.
I was waving it
I'm
saying,
just silly
what
like
is
that.
this? And the thing about it, it wasn't in a box and it wasn't wrapped. It looked like it was regifted from something out of her bathroom. So I didn't
Oh,
want to wait.
that's a little bit, yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I probably wouldn't have felt so bad if it was wrapped or in the actual box it came in, if it came in the box or covered with plastic, but nah, yeah, I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have either.
And she got mad because I didn't like it. Well,
You're
what
not
do
gonna
you
give me a used squatty potty.
thank you? That's what I'm saying.
There's usually there's a gift etiquette. Don't give something that you wouldn't want to get back. But there's a difference between a gag gift and especially, but then again, when you have people from differing areas, differing times in life and differing experiences, you're going to get crazy results. Think about it. That's why a lot of potlucks at work are going away because y'all know when you say potluck,
Mm-mm.
you,
It's very unlucky.
usually they pray before you eat. At the potlucks, you pray after you eat. But but
So,
anyhow, that's it's a lot of, and you don't want to take away the creativity from folks when they're gift giving, but you gotta set some rules. You gotta set some rules because stuff like that, that messes up the flow for the season. And especially if you don't really know somebody, that's like, okay, that's like if we're having a get together and I walk up to Apple and I give her a diet book.
no.
And it's not a gag, it's a white elephant, or a Secret Santa, and I just give it to her. I don't think she'd take that well.
I'm gonna be like, I'll beg your finest pardon, sir. And I may
Or
attack you with it.
yeah, or if somebody came and gave me some breath mints. Very crisp. Like, so what you saying? So what you saying? You couldn't pull me to the side and say that or something. But yeah, it's when you know, the idea is to be creative, but not be too creative or too. You want everybody to have a good time, and it sounds like that kind of. I'm not gonna say ruin the mood, but it did turn the mood down a little bit. Am I
It
correct?
did. Yes, it did.
So that's like I said, and the same thing with potluck. You gotta it's like you gotta put people through the third degree. You got animals. Are your animals allowed in the kitchen? Do your animals kiss you in the mouth? You know,
Mm-mm.
it's like you just gotta have a questionnaire. Like, okay, yeah, I
That's
don't
yeah.
know. I
Why
you
at
know,
potlucks you stick to the canned sodas and the individually
and,
store-bought stuff.
yeah, and don't you show up at my
Right.
house with no mountain lion, no Dr. Thunder, or 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 anything like that, because you had to like, no, I'm not saying that I'm bougie, but no, no. If you have a job, you can do better than Dr. Thunder. You can do better than Mountain Lion and stuff like that.
This is true.
And but then again, the the things they are told to bring tells you how much people trust your judgment in cooking. If you think about that, if someone asks you to bring a dish and they know that you can they know and I mean I'm not saying basically telling you, but they're asking, but they're not asking, if that makes sense. Said, okay, Apple, you need to bring, said you need to bring your collard greens. I know I'm going to eat them because I love them. And most people, well, I already know you can cook, but if I said, Miss Kim, could you bring paper plates and napkins? What
I'm
am
gonna
I
be
what am
like
I telling folks?
that I can't cook, which I know I can.
Like, yeah, no, 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 nah, don't worry about it. I mean, because I'd rather be told to buy something from the store than to be told to bring, bring non-edible stuff. But we know somebody who can't even who will burn cold cereal. So, overcooked salad. So you know who to give that stuff to. And some people want to bring that stuff, but then, some people come and they have the worst people, in my opinion, is they don't come nothing but an appetite and an attitude. That's the only thing they bring in. They show leave with a lot more than when they got there with. By the way, the gremlin like the food, Apple?
Yeah, she did. Some of it. Some of it. The
I,
meatballs
the
and
meatballs look good, but I wasn't feeling it. Like I told you Saturday, I wasn't feeling well. It was like we talked about that. I was like, nah, I can't eat nothing. I think people were kind of thinking I was kind of bougie, but no,
they'll be all right.
I had to guard my stomach because
Yeah. That's like
yeah,
guarding your peace. You gotta guard your stomach. It's like guarding your peace. I'm telling you.
you already know. You already know. I didn't want to be making no chocolate mud.
In
Like
a public bathroom, right? Can you imagine?
tell me about it.
Oh goodness.
Tell me.
Oh wait, I want to ask, what is the worst holiday dish or traditional holiday dish in your opinion?
Anybody who tries to make cornbread salad, anybody who bring,
What's
I mean,
cornbread salad?
oh, YouTube land. If you're out there, what's the worst thing that you bring? Cornbread salad, or
Green bean casserole.
I was gonna. that, but some people make it okay. But for the
I
most
was
part, now
about
you
to
know,
say, I actually like it. It depends on who makes it.
My
yeah.
daughter loves it. I'm like, but she loves it.
But
What
my
about
personal,
the chitlins?
Uh,
oh
no, I don't eat those, but my
no,
family loves them.
no, our father loved him some chitlins.
Yes. And
And
I learned a new thing that people eat. I've never had it, but it doesn't look appetizing. Watergate salad. It's like a lime green. It looks like it has
Oh
marshmallow.
yeah, it's pistachio pudding with Cool Whip, marshmallows, walnuts in it.
that don't even sound right.
That sounds
My
like
mom used to like that, and ambrosia, and that's
now I've had the ambrosia before, but
yeah, she used to make that. And fruitcake. I don't like fruitcake.
Oh,
I happen to like fruitcake. I happen to
oh.
like
It's got too much fruit in it.
it.
Well,
I
and
usually pick the fruit out and eat around it. The cake be good because she'll add a little rum in it, but
yeah,
she
but the
messed
the
up when
fruit
she
be
put the
like
fruit in it.
hard.
Uh-uh.
The fruit be hard and chewy. You eat a cherry and be like thinking you eating a rock or something.
But she used to make it like weeks before Christmas, and she'll wrap it in this cheesecloth and let it sit up for weeks. My dad used to love it, but no, I'm not a fruitcake person. No.
But if you bring like beets and stuff, we gonna fight. It's
Mm-mm.
it's
I
on
love
site.
a
It's
little.
on site. But chitlins, hog's head cheese,
Oh no. Mm-mm.
um, because our people from the country, so they used to. My grandmother made a lot of that stuff, and
Hmm.
yeah, but she, as she got older, she softened up because she realized most of her grandchildren were New Yorkers. We wasn't eating. But when we was little, if she put it in front of you, you better eat it, or she had to sit there for hours and hours and hours and hours. Chocolate Pearl has a story about that in Chicken Franks.
Hmm.
So
Chicken
yeah,
franks.
And she
she
sat there with them
she
same chicken franks for hours.
said fell asleep. My grandmother woke up, told her go to bed. She got up in the morning, made her take a bath, and everybody else is eating like oatmeal, cream of wheat, sausage, grits, and what is Chocolate Pearl eating? Chicken
Not
franks.
the, not them saying chicken
Them
The
franks.
saying,
same chicken
them
franks.
saying, come on now, you know how country folks is. They ain't wasting no
You
food.
ain't gonna waste the food now.
But yeah, that
So
was
Kim, I want to ask you a question, because we on a, subject of food and tradition. I'm sorry to cut you off. But every New Year's, there's a tradition that we have in our family that my mom taught me that I
Hmm.
continue to do.
Hmm.
Um, did you have like a traditional meal that you made for New Year's in your family?
Yes. Greens for money and black eyed peas meant for pennies, cents. And that was the main thing they will always cook. She always made sure she had collard greens cooked in the house and black eyed peas.
Oh,
yeah,
that's very similar. That's very similar. We did the black eyed peas for good luck. That's
Hmm.
and it's a green leafy vegetable for money,
Yep. Uh-huh.
and pork for health. I don't know why they said pork for health.
Pork.
yes,
And that's the
pork.
unhealth. That's the unhealthiest meat. But
Now that's a new one for me. I hadn't heard about the pork.
Yeah, and you would well, it's probably the only thing they could afford actually, but that's
yeah,
that's another story. But we would have ham hocks with the black eyed peas. It'd be
Yeah.
ham hocks, black eyed peas, and usually it wasn't always collard greens. Like she
yeah,
said,
any kind of green
it,
leafy vegetable.
but she would make the mustard greens or the turnip greens, and they be bitter as all get out.
But I
Yes.
love
Oh,
mustard greens. But I my mom showed me how to make them without them being bitter.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work in it, but they don't be as bitter.
but that's yeah, she's if it was the mustard greens and the turnip greens, a lot of times they be bitter. So I
Yeah.
learned just to keep some vinegar, keep some apple cider vinegar or regular vinegar.
Well, you know why they say they be bitter. They said because the frost hasn't fell on them. That's why they are bitter.
Oh,
Until the frost falls on them, they're not bitter. Now I don't know about here since I moved to Virginia, but that's when we would go to somebody's field and pick their mustard.
Mm.
but that was one of those things. It was like, yes, we would always have some sort of greens. I pray for collards, but
Some kind of green.
you get what you get sometimes.
Okay, and what about other traditions? Like we have a tradition that the first one through the door after midnight has to be a male. You have to clean your house up and do all your laundry.
Yeah, we had that one. And also, well, you did not wash clothes on New Year's Day because that means you washing people out of your family. She would not let us wash clothes the first day of the new year. You had to do it before the new year got in.
Right.
No,
Okay.
that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, you really don't want to start working. You want to get all your old business settled prior to
Oh,
the
yeah, before
beginning
the
of the
new
new
year get
year.
in.
So that's those are the things. Did y'all do watch night service?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what about foot washing and all that other good stuff?
Did what now?
Foot washing.
We did that once when I went to the United Methodist Church. We did that once, but that was the only time I've actually seen it done. I hadn't seen it done anymore. And that was years ago.
Yeah, because nobody, let's just say everybody's hygiene and cleanliness is not on the same level. I
Right.
just, I will just leave it at that. Somebody put off their foot and look like warmed over death that they found 12 weeks later when they, and in there somewhere in the description somewhere is like they stumbled over a hunter stumbled over the body. That's how they look and smell. But yeah, those, I mean, I know they say that us black folks are not a monolith. However, we got too many similar traditions that have been passed down over the years from same parts of from the southern United States that we kept, and we continue to do that. And I think that's what helps us get through a lot of the difficult times. And I'm going to say this, and y'all take it for what it is. Sometimes we're going to be in situations where we're going to have to count on what we learned when we were younger,
Hey, it's
because
true.
in times of stress, you always go back to what you know. When things go crazy, you always revert to what you know. You always revert back to what you know. So I think that's one of the things in 25 we're just gonna have to grit our teeth, get plowed through these next 4 years and come out on the other side a lot stronger and a lot better. Otherwise, Belize is allowing Americans to come down there, bring their, bring your money too, because they speak English. Uh, another one was what was what was the worst gift that you ever got from somebody, and what was the best gift you got from somebody? With me, the worst gift I got, and I talked about this on Thursday, and it doesn't have to be Christmas. It can be birthdays, was red Speedos and a 3 foot high Valentine's Day card from a woman I had just broke up with a couple of days earlier. The best gift I ever got was when my kid for Father's Day, I want to say 2009, Father's Day, they got me a bracelet and a necklace, and I would be straight up. I cried for like 2 hours. I couldn't stop. The tears couldn't stop flowing because I was, y'all know I don't like people getting me stuff. But that was one time I just broke down. I couldn't handle myself. What about you, Apple?
I'm just always grateful that people remember me and get me anything. So I don't think I have a worse gift because I think I find anything that someone gives me useful. And just because they gave it to me from their heart, I accept it.
So
I
so if
can't,
I bought you if I bought you a red thong and a 3 foot high Valentine's Day card,
well,
you
that would be
wouldn't.
weird because you're my brother, but I would be like, okay, thank you.
I know that's right. Apple. That would be weird.
But no, if somebody that I broke up with gave me that, I'll be like, okay, you giving me that, and I'm gonna wear it for somebody else. So who's really the fool?
Yeah.
You know? So I would accept it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
What about you, Miss Kim?
I don't think I've had any bad gifts. I can't remember any, but the best gift was Mother's Day when I still was living in Augusta, and I went home and my girls showered me with all these gifts, tennis shoes, Michael Kors purse, and a dozen long stem roses. I think I still got the picture of it. And one took me out to breakfast, and then late on that afternoon, one took me to dinner. So that was the best Mother's Day ever.
That's what's up. That's what's up because I mean, especially when it's from your kids, because you're so used to doing stuff for them,
Yeah, I
and
was shocked.
when they do something for you, it's like it blows you away. But
Yeah.
then why do we act like that though? I don't understand because I'm sure my mother didn't she didn't lose any sleep when I when I got her something. What do you think, Apple?
Oh no, your mother was spoiled. She definitely enjoyed the gifts. I do kind of get I tell the kids they don't have to give me anything. So when they do, it's very nice. It means like to me, it's like, oh, they do appreciate me. They do love me.
Right.
And I'm
They-
always so shocked. And they look at me like, why are you shocked? We try to do something for you all the time, but I don't expect it. But I remember for my 50th, my boys actually sent me to they paid for my birthday trip to Miami. So they paid
Oh,
for,
wow.
all expenses. And I thought that was really cool. I was surprised because I sure didn't know what I was going to do. And they got together with my two best friends. And yeah, they made sure that I had a good time for my 50th birthday. So that was cool. And my brother, you surprised me with a new iPhone. And man, I boohooed. I didn't cry in front of you because I'm tough like that. But that was
Tough as
one of my
tissue.
that was one of my favorite. And you're always thinking about others. You always just give from your heart, and I just love it. Like everything you give me, and you don't have to do anything for me or the other siblings, but we just appreciate you. You're the gift, even if you give us like material, tangible things, like just your presence and just the person you are. You're the gift. I don't know if I'm making sense or not.
No, you're making
Everything,
sense, and I
Yeah, I
appreciate
get
that.
what you're saying.
yeah, I brag on him all the time. I'll be like, cause my brother, cause I got that kind of brother. He would be
Right.
like, all right, stop bragging. And a
Yeah,
lot of people are envious of the relationship that we have as siblings. but that's their business. They could just be envious and go about their business because my brother, I got the best brother in the world. And I will fight somebody if they tell me different.
We have a guest that just came on, Mr. Alton Morrison. He and I worked together on Love. Back then it was Fort Gordon. I was still in uniform, and he was one of my superiors, and he's here now. How are you doing, Mr. Morrison?
I'm hanging in there for an old man. I just saw you on Facebook, and I was enjoying the discussions about greens and cooking and New Year's. I did not know about not washing clothes on the first day of the New Year's, but that's something that I can believe. So just happy to be a part of this group, and I've been wanting to get involved and to participate in some of your discussions. So thank you.
Appreciate that. Now you got to get initiated now. What was the best Christmas that you had, and what was the not so best Christmas?
The best Christmas was, I would say, that's a good one. Just every Christmas that I wake up alive, clothed in my right mind, is a best Christmas. My worst Christmas was losing my mother last year on her 93rd birthday. So she wasn't with us for the first Christmas of my life. So I would say that would be the worst one, last Christmas, not having my mom. But every Christmas that I'm awake is a good Christmas.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, just a quick question. We were talking about foods. I know you're from Louisiana. Y'all might have a little bit different. Y'all might have a little bit different type of palate than we did in Georgia, New York. What did y'all usually eat for New Year's Eve?
Oh, well, the same things that we eat New Year's Day, we'd normally do gumbo, etouffee, jambalaya, red beans and rice the day before. And on New Year's, of course, the black-eyed peas, cabbage, cornbread. We throw some ribs in there. And if we were able to kill a fresh wild hog, because wild boar is a lot better for you health-wise, and it tastes a lot better. And so we own a lot of acreage, so we do hog killing around this year, and deer for the deer sausage. But the traditional New Year's Day, black-eyed peas, cabbage, but we do jambalaya, etouffee, gumbo, New Year's Eve.
I think I know I'm gonna be for New Year's Eve.
Yep.
And you've been you've worked on Fort Gordon / Eisenhower for a long time, and you've probably been to a million billion holiday parties. Now, what is a memorable one in your history?
Well, back at Fort Gordon, we used to, on the last day of work before the Christmas holiday, we would have a party on every floor in Signal Towers. And knowing that it's 10 floors, that would be a party on every floor. And back in those days, we would authorize alcohol usage, from 12 on. So we had a lot of foreign officers from France, Germany, and other places. So they would bring their traditional meals and wines and liquors. And we would just have a party all day, just riding the elevator or walking the stairs up and down, going to the different floors, sampling food from all the different floors. And of course, taking beverages at the same time. And then we would end it with a hayride around Fort Gordon. So I used to love those days when we would have those parties in Signal Towers.
Yeah, I remember the last one I went to. It was pretty well. We didn't have alcohol when I got there, but it was pretty nice, especially going to the like you said to the office to the foreign officers.
Oh yeah,
The Germans had the best food, but
yeah.
I'm kind of partial to Germany because I was stationed there.
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go.
Those are wonderful memories. Let me ask you a question. What at the potluck, what do you bring? What do you ask to bring? And if not asked, what do you bring?
Well, I always get asked to bring etouffee, crawfish etouffee, because everybody loves it. And when I was working in Signal Towers, whenever we'd have a Christmas or a Thanksgiving or any type of potluck, they would always point to me and say, "Bring the etouffee." So everybody loved my etouffee. And then from time to time, I would bring gumbo too.
I can see
Oh yeah,
that. I
oh
can
yeah.
definitely see that. And what as far as a gift, what was the best gift you got?
Hmm. The best gift I got, I would say a hug from an old secretary. She had to be about, well, I'm going to say old, but she was mature in her age. She had worked a long time. She was 83 years old, and she gave me a big hug and told me, "I love you." And it was in a sincere fashion. It wasn't from a sexual orientation, but she just said, "I love you, and I enjoyed working with you over the many years that I've known you." So just a hug from her um, was the best gift that I think I've ever gotten.
That's awesome. That's awesome because a lot of times, especially when you worked in the area for so long, a lot of times you've seen people come and people go, and then you have the idea was always to be friendly, but that doesn't mean necessarily you had friends, if that makes sense.
Right.
But it's
Hmm.
always good to know when that you always remember the best people you've been around, and you always remember the worst people that you've been around. If you don't
Right.
remember people, that means they weren't remarkable enough for you to remember them.
Right.
And especially over the years, you always remember stuff and think stories like that. You really warm my heart because people, we always try to be that person that makes a difference. Now, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be grand gestures, but you want to, you know, most of us have a need inside to want to be appreciated and know that we made a difference in wherever we were. And we left, when we left the place a little better than when we got there, even if
Right.
it's only incremental improvements. And that's a testament to you as a person and as a leader. And I've always respected you. You've always been there. Now, even though you're an alpha, that I can't hold that against you. But
Yeah.
but you know you're a wonderful man, father, and husband, and I gotta give you your flowers.
I
Gotta gotta
appreciate
gotta give you your flowers, and I
it.
definitely appreciate you coming on
Oh
and
yeah. And
enjoying the conversation. And continue being strange, but don't be a stranger.
no, well, I'm going to participate. I just happened to see it on Facebook and I saw the meeting ID, so I joined. And do you all do this every Tuesday at the same time?
Every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. It's
Okay.
myself, um, Apple, Chocolate Pearl is not on here. Miss Kim comes on a lot. We have a few regulars that come on.
Okay.
Join the crew. Hey, the more the merrier. And if you have anything that you want to talk about or you want us to talk about, just email me through my YouTube channel,
Okay.
and I'll make sure that we talk about it. The idea is I want to grow, want the community to really get, and we talk about everything. We talk
Right.
about everything, and I just want to make sure that what we do makes a difference, and that's
Right.
that's the key. Is that, I mean, when I started, it was just me, but I asked my sisters to help me because whenever we're together, it's not a podcast, it's a family call.
Right.
So, and hopefully we actually portray that when we're talking, that there's no strangers, and we just we just talk, and I think a lot of times people like that because there's no pretense, no trying to stump the chump, no, none of that stuff. And I'm glad that I'm actually able to do that.
Right. Well, I'll definitely pass the word and share so that we can expand the group even more so, because the more people, the more ideas, the more thoughts. And so I'll definitely do that. Do we use the same meeting ID and passcode, or does that change each week?
No, no, it's the same. It's the same one.
Good.
It's the same one.
Good.
Because I like I said, I'm trying to I'm trying to make sure that we're consistent.
Right. Okay.
Like some days I don't feel like doing this, but it's a purpose. You know, as you know, being a leader, you know, a leader has to have a purpose, has to have a mission, has to have a drive.
Yes.
And
That's right.
you may not always feel like it, but that doesn't mean you don't do it.
Right.
And those are the things that I work hard at. I work hard at. Sometimes I fall short, but that's life. You can do
Oh,
everything right and something still goes wrong. It still won't meet the mission, but
oh
the
yeah.
effort, it's the purpose, it's everything that goes with it. But like I said, I appreciate you coming on, Mr. Morrison, and you know, you got to give me got to give you a nickname. You got to get a nickname.
Uh, just call me Big Al.
All right, Big Al. That's definitely Big Al. That's what you're known as now. You are hereby hominis dominus. You are now Big Al.
All right.
So, well, while you're on, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. I retired from the military after 30 years. And I decided after that 30 years, I wanted to just go home back to Louisiana and enjoy my family. And 30 days after retiring, I drove myself and my family crazy. And my wife told me, you need to go back to work. So I looked in USA Jobs and I saw an advertisement for a job that I had when I was a major assigned to Fort Gordon. So I applied for it. They called me once they saw my resume and said, hey, do you want the job? And I said, yeah. He said, we'll fly you to Fort Gordon and do an interview, but you got the job. So I took that job. I did that for 15 years, and I retired the second time in 2019. And I started a consulting company. It's ADM and it's a consulting company where I do technical writings for primarily Black small companies that want to get into the government contracting business, if they want to get into cyber and IT. So I have several clients that I do a lot of technical writing for. It keeps my mind sharp. It keeps me engaged. And I'm able to continue to give back because my whole legacy has just been giving back to people, being a mentor, being a coach. And that's what I enjoy doing. So I've been doing the consulting since 2019. I'm still here in Augusta and I enjoy that. And I just enjoy every day that God blesses me to be alive. Um, I don't know if you all have talked about the election in the past, and I know it's an open mic, but at some point I'd like to give you my input on
Go
that.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, that's one of our favorite subjects.
Oh,
Oh,
good, good, good. Well, I am a diehard Democrat, and for this election, I made sure that I worked For early voting, I was a poll worker and poll watcher for the 3 weeks for early voting and for the actual election. And I tell you, there were several times when I was ready to knock somebody out because these white folks, I hope, are there any white people on the line or any
No, no, not
diehard?
tonight.
Okay. Well, there were some diehard mega folks who came in there with their hats and their shirts who refused to take them off. And they really didn't want a black man telling them to do that. And so they would always have me greeting because I'm a big man. And so not easily intimidated. So a lot of them would come and try me, and I would give them that look like, "Hey, dude, I ain't the one, and this ain't the day." So they would back down. But I actually had to get the police to escort several people out because of their refusal to take off their hats and those shirts. But I sensed that something was not right, just with the blatancy that I saw white folks coming in there, and a lot of our brothers and sisters who are ill informed, touting the orange man. And, of course, you can't have those discussions in the polling places. So I had to
Right.
have them to stop. So I tell you, I was sick. I couldn't sleep. I was getting depressed as a result of this. And then I just got to a point where I said, you know what? God is bigger than Donald Trump. And I'm not going to do myself any good. I'm not going to do anybody else any good by worrying about this. But I'm just amazed that so many people voted for him. And I I went to bed on election night, or I tried to go to bed, but I couldn't sleep. And I just had that eerie feeling that things were not going to come out the way they did. But as a people, we're going to have to definitely rethink our strategies for the future. I'm going to run for a political office here in Columbia County because I just saw way too many uh, incumbent Republicans with no challengers. So the Democratic Party has to step up, and we're going to have to make our presence known here in Columbia County. Knocked on a lot of doors, canvassing, but I determined that that's a strategy that doesn't work. We need to use opportunities like this podcast, TikTok, uh, Facebook, all those social media platforms where we can reach out and engage people. And I probably knocked on 200 to 300 doors, and there were probably less than 10 people who answered the doors. So I
Right.
was doing a lot of knocking and ringing doorbells with no answers, and I would leave messages if there was a recorder, a doorbell that recorded, and leave the literature for then Vice President Harris and those Democratic candidates who are running in down ballot elections here in Columbia County. But that canvassing, it doesn't work. And I just put a lot of steps on my Fitbit and knocked and rang on a lot of doorbells and got no response. And for the 10 or so people who responded, they act like, they were pissed off that I was ringing their doorbell. And and what we had done is we had done a look at the addresses that we were going to canvass, and we were particularly targeting those individuals who had voted Democratic in the past or who were leaning Democratic. We know going to a GOP or a diehard Republican was a waste of time. So we targeted those that were primarily Democratic or leaning Democratic, but still not a lot of answers, and just one of those things. So I'm really excited about the midterm elections so that we can get control of the House and the Senate, and to hopefully enough of these weak GOP senators and representatives will do the right thing. And but the Mega Man is having his way with Elon Musk and all these other people that are flocking to Mar-a-Lago and pouring in money. So,
and that's and thank you for what you're doing up there. And that's the thing, is that we got to stop worrying about national and
yeah,
vote on the local levels,
yeah,
because that's where the change begins. The change doesn't begin at the top. The change begins at the bottom.
right.
And it's not overnight. It's going to take some work, some time, and for the sake of this country, we're gonna need to put in the work.
Oh yeah,
Um, a lot of things are probably going to be undone, but we, especially as Black folks, we are resilient. We've been here over 500 years, and we have over 500 problems, but that's one of the things. And by the way, guess who decided to drop in right at the end of the show? It's my favorite girl, the Chocolate Pearl. Chocolate Pearl, where
oh,
you been at?
Hey, hey, hey. I got that Christmas cantata and I've been rehearsing. So it's this Saturday. Hopefully y'all could tune in on YouTube
oh,
for Hopewell Baptist Church in Jacksonville,
yeah.
Florida.
Oh, good.
At 7 o'clock it will start. So I'm sorry that I wasn't on time, but I tried my hardest to get on there regardless, whether it's at the end or the beginning. At least I'm gonna be on there. And it's
I
good to hear
appreciate that.
y'all. And welcome to our guests.
Thank you, thank you. And on that note, people, it is 9:31. We have reached the end of another wonderful show. A great, even though we didn't have a topic, we made a show. I want to thank each and every one of y'all out there, YouTube land, Facebook land, as well as Instagram land. Every Thursday, every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We come on the FG's Corner with myself, Apple, and Chocolate Pearl, and special guest Skip and Big Al. And I'm going to say my favorite statement before the end of the show: never make love by the garden gate. So love is blind, neighbors ain't. Peace out.